Welcome, baseball fans, to Baseball Update Show number 81. So we're going to switch it up today because we haven't been around a while. So we're going to go over the scores from Tuesday through Friday, and then we'll go over the schedule for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we'll start the scores from Tuesday, July 28. We have Baltimore over the Braves 7-3. Phillies defeat Toronto 3-2. White Sox over the Red Sox 9-4. Tampa Bay over Detroit 10-2. KC over Cleveland 2-1. Mets over San Diego 4-0. Also from Tuesday, Miami defeats Washington 4-1. Colorado over Chicago 7-2. The Yankees defeating the Texas Rangers on Tuesday 21-5. Okay. Houston over LA, the Angels 10-5. Pittsburgh over Minnesota 8-7. Cincinnati over St. Louis 4-0. Arizona over Seattle 8-4. Oakland over Dodgers 2-0. And Milwaukee over San Francisco 5-2. Alright. Scores from Wednesday, July 29th. Detroit defeats Tampa Bay. Okay, Cleveland defeated KC. Pittsburgh over Minnesota. The Cubbies defeat Colorado. Arizona defeats Seattle. San Francisco defeating Milwaukee on Wednesday. Baltimore defeats the Braves. Toronto over the Phillies. White Sox over the Red Sox. Padres over the Mets. Nationals defeat the Marlins. Texas over the Yankees. Houston over the Angels 6-3. Cincinnati defeats St. Louis, and the Dodgers defeat the Oakland A's 10-7 on Wednesday. So that brings us up to Thursday and Friday. So I do apologize, baseball update fans. We had a little trouble in the, well, not trouble, but a lot of stuff going on at the podcasting center. So that's why you haven't been around a while. All right, so now a little bit caught up. Here are the scores from Thursday and Friday, and then we'll go over the schedule for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So on Thursday, July the 30th, the Padres defeat the Mets 8-7. Nationals over the Marlins 1-0. Phillies over the Braves 4-1. Detroit defeats the Orioles 9-8. Toronto over KC 5-2. And the Red Sox defeat the White Sox 8-2. Cincinnati defeats Pittsburgh on Thursday 15-5. 15 runs, 19 hits, 0 errors for the Reds. 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Pirates. St. Louis Cardinals over the Colorado Rockies 9-8. Texas over the Yankees 7-6. Cubbies over the Brewers 5-2. Astros over the Angels 3-0. Minnesota over the Mariners 9-5. And Cleveland defeats the Oakland A's 3-1. And that brings us to Friday night, last night. And anybody who saw the Met game yesterday was in for a little treat from a walk-off home run from William Flores, which put the Mets on top 2-1, defeating the Nationals in 12 innings. Rest of the scores from Friday as follows. Philly defeats Atlanta Braves Friday 9-3. Baltimore over the Detroit Tigers 8-7. Toronto defeats KC 7-6 in 11 innings. Pittsburgh defeats Cincinnati 5-4. San Diego defeats Miami 8-3 in 11 innings. Boston defeats Tampa Bay 7-5. Texas over San Francisco 6-3. Diamondbacks over the Houston Astros 6-4 in 10 innings. Cubbies defeat the Brewers 4-1. Yankees defeating the White Sox 13-6. 13 hits, 18 hits, 13 runs, 18 hits, 0 errors for the Yankees. 6 runs, 13 hits, 0 errors for the White Sox. Mariners defeat the Twins 6-1. Cardinals over the Rockies 7-0. Cleveland over the A's 2-1. And Dodgers defeat the Angels 5-3. Alright, so that brings us to today's Saturday, and alright, we have one game underway as we speak, and one game that just is wrapped up as of 3:40 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. We have KC, which defeated Toronto Blue Jays 7-6, so that puts the Royals at 62-41, and Toronto 53-52. One game underway right now, top of the 6th, we have Boston hosting Tampa Bay. Boston with a 7-4 lead, top of the 6th. Okay, and the game's on tap for Saturday night as follows. The Dodgers are hosting the Angels again at 4:05. Phillies host the Braves at 7:05. Baltimore hosting the Detroit Tigers at 7:05. Houston Astros hosting the Diamondbacks at 7:10. Brewers hosting the Cubbies at 7:10. White Sox hosting the Yankees at 7:10. Cincinnati hosting Pittsburgh at 7:10. Miami hosting San Diego 7:10. Twins host the Seattle Mariners 7:10. The Metropolitans hosting the Nationals once again at 7:10. Mets right now 53-50, and the Nationals 54-47. St. Louis hosting Colorado today at 7:15. Texas hosts San Francisco at 8:05. Athletics hosting the Indians at 9:05. And that's the schedule for Saturday. Baseball update. Here is the baseball schedule for Sunday, August 2nd. Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Kansas City Royals, 7:07. At 1:07. Toronto hosting Kansas City at 1:07. Cincinnati Reds hosting Pittsburgh at 1:10. Marlins hosting the Padres at 1:10. Phillies host the Braves at 1:35. Orioles hosting the Tigers at 1:35. Red Sox host the Tampa Bay Rays at 1:35. Also for Sunday, Houston Astros hosting the Diamondbacks at 2:10. Milwaukee hosts the Cubbies at 2:10. White Sox hosting the Yankees 2:10. And also for 2:10 on Sunday, Twins, Minnesota hosting the Seattle Mariners. St. Louis Cardinals holding the Colorado Rockies at 2:15. Texas hosting San Francisco at 3:05. Athletics hosting the Indians at 4:05. Dodgers host the Angels at 4:10. And the Mets are hosting the Nationals at 8:08. And that game will be on ESPN tomorrow night. Baseball update. Here's the schedule for Monday, August 3. Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Minnesota Twins, 1:07. Nationals host the Diamondbacks at 7:05, and Pittsburgh hosts the Cubbies, 7:05. The Mets head down to Miami. Mets host the Marlins hosting the Miami Marlins hosting the Mets at 7:10 down at Mullins Park. Atlanta Braves hosting the Giants at 7:10. Texas hosts the Houston Astros at 8:05. Brewers hosting the Padres at 8:10. White Sox host the Tampa Bay Rays at 8:10. Then we have Colorado hosting Seattle at 8:40. Athletics hosting the Orioles at 10:05. And the Angels hosting the Indians on Monday at 10:05. And let's just get to it. We'll give the schedule for Tuesday. Baseball update returns on Tuesday. And we'll be back to our normal schedule next week. Washington Nationals hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks Tuesday, 7:05. Yankees hosting the Red Sox at 7:05. Pittsburgh hosts the Cubbies at 7:05. Phillies hosting the Dodgers, 7:05. Blue Jays hosting the Twins, 7:07. Detroit hosts the KC Royals at 7:08. Marlins hosting the Mets, 7:10. Braves hosting the Giants at 7:10. Reds hosting the Cardinals, 7:10. And the Rangers, Texas Rangers, hosting the Houston Astros at 8:05 on Tuesday. Brewers hosting the Padres at 8:10. White Sox hosting the Rays at 8:10. Rockies host the Mariners at 8:40. And Athletics hosting Baltimore O's at 10:05. And the Angels host the Cleveland Indians at 10:05. From the American Podcasting Center in New York, I've been your host, Manny A. Be good, be safe, have a good weekend. And this has been Baseball Update.